Oh, green. Oh, hey! Oh, beautiful. Oh, how good to see you. I'm Chris, and complection's wonderful. Have you ever how would I put this? Have you ever been painting a wall, inside your house, and you've got that big, bucket or big tin of white or whatever color paint that's there? That surface, that's your complexion, but skin colored. Today, let's have a quick little chat about where do I start with this topic? I don't even know what to say. I guess being truthful, and not only truthful to others, but truthful to yourself. See, it's this little thing about not being so truthful, okay? And it's that the more that you do a behavior, the more your unconscious mind starts to think there's a reason for that, and that the reason must be because that's what everyone does, that's normal, and that it's okay. It's okay to tell little white lies and all these sort of things. And it starts with other people. It starts with other people trying not to hurt their feelings, maybe, or trying to not get yourself in trouble with them, and all these sort of things. But it always bleeds back to you, and you telling fibs to yourself. Oh, I just got a beep. Let's turn that volume down. You telling fibs to yourself, and they might be small, they might be big. They might be that you've got everything handled, which is no one, or it might be that you don't need to take care of your body because your body's just fine. I haven't been sick in ages. I can lift heavy things. I'm a little bit overweight, but I love chicken. It's just who I am. It's part of who I am, and that ain't gonna change, right? That's a lie and a half. You can change who you are. You can change your identity to someone who doesn't eat fried chicken, on a regular basis. Or maybe your identity is someone who aspires to do what's necessary to become healthier. Or whatever. It could be a million things. It could be a beer. Oh my gosh. Some people drink some terrible beers, and I can't see how they're pleasant to them. I drink all sorts of different types of beers and stuff, and most of the beers I drink are a bit much for most people, and I totally respect that. But man, some beers, I'll tell you what, they're gross. They are gross. Or maybe, what else? That a friend has really got your back. Maybe you've got a friend who you've been friends with for a long time, investment bias, and so you want to, part of you wants to believe that they've got your back because they've been around for so long, or because there was that time where they were there for you when no one else was, and therefore they'll always be there for you in every moment that you need help. That they'll always support you and back you and accept you and all that fun stuff, right? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you think you're that friend who'll always accept, but you got a bit of work to do on yourself because you got your own insecurities and problems, right? And that they maybe don't make you be the best friend that you could possibly be. So they're kind of like blind spots, I suppose, but they manifest as basically lying to yourself. And if that's the case, then it feels like it would be normal that everyone in your life would do that too. You know? Doesn't everyone ... No. I'm not friends with people like that. I don't associate with people like that. We all have our moments, but I've had people in the past who are shocking liars. They do it constantly to try and get my approval, to try to not get themselves in trouble. I've done that. I've done that a lot when I was younger. But at the end of the day, what it does is it trains your mind to think that that's normal and that the opposite is kind of abnormal and that they must be up to something, right? And you may not think that, but you'll feel that. And it may be so subtle, so flippin' subtle, that it may manifest as nothing more than you're at a party, you're chatting with people, and you just seem to get along more with this person than this person. You've got nothing bad to say about this person. You have no bad vibes when you're talking with them. But this person is the honest person, the true person, the person who says it like it is empathetic, is just a good person or whatever. This person is also maybe a great person, but they have their insecurities, and they manifest in ways that where they're not so truthful, where they're not so honest, where they're not so true to themselves, where they're a little bit people pleasing, and they do things to try and please other people as opposed to just doing what's right. And you guys may never even talk about any of that sort of stuff, right? But your unconscious mind sees it in other people and connects. It connects with these people. And it doesn't on these other people. And it's on this underflow level that's just a feeling. You notice that the conversation seems to go more smoothly with this person than that person, regardless of the content, because they're a little bit like you. Now, for most people, this concept can be super hard to wrap your mind around, because something like that is so subtle that you can't really see it, especially in real time, because there are no signposts, there are none of this sort of stuff. But then you notice that you become friends with that person who's not so truthful, and then it all comes up. And then what it does is, you become more friends with it. You're still friends with the really nice, super truthful person, but you're not hanging out with them or chatting with them on a regular basis or sharing memes with them, whatever it is that you do to connect, right? Instead, you're just sort of doing all that stuff with this other person over here. And that friendship grows and blossoms, and the other one is just like, yeah, they're really cool. I don't know them very well, but they're really cool, right? And then what happens is their true colors come out. Something will happen, something super subtle. Something so subtle that you can pretty much ignore it. Maybe something comes up at the last minute when you've organized to have a coffee with them, and then you're like, oh, whatever. And they do it again and again and again and again, and eventually you're like, oh, well, that's just them. Either that, or you go, see, everyone does this. That's just life. People are busy, you know? It's not that they can't commit. It's that, you know, life is a continuum of being things getting in your way. Like, that's just normal life. It's just how things are, right? You start telling yourself things like this. Meanwhile, the other person who's truthful, has integrity, more integrity, maybe is, for one thing, won't bail on you. That person, that person's making better quality friends just because they've got a vibe about them that attracts other people like them, right? And to them, they're on an upward spiral, and they're constantly like, you know what? Everyone's awesome. Everyone's rad. You know? Sometimes I bump into people who are inconsistent, who bail on me, who they're not as truthful, whatever. But at the end of the day, the majority of people in the world are incredible. And then you're sitting there in the middle going, eventually maybe you're like, why does everyone keep doing this to me? It's because your vibe has just sort of attracted that, because it's too painful to be truthful to yourself, because everything else, your friendship groups, your work life, your paradigm and blueprint for reality is based around those lies, or those distorted truths, or those simplified truths, or those blind spots, right? Because it's easier, right? It's easier than looking yourself in the mirror and figuring things out, really figuring things out. And you know what? It works both ways. The more integrity you have in your life, the more integrity you have for yourself, all that kind of stuff, right? The more integrity you have, the more truth you have in your life, you'll actually be slightly less attractive to those liars. Or those people who are not, I don't like the word liar because it's a strong word, but there's people who maybe don't understand the truth, they don't seek out the truth, and they lie to themselves a little bit. They tell little porcupines, little white lies all the time to themselves and their friends. You know, those people have the same sort of thing, like what I just said before. Their vibe, right, will be like, they're really nice people. They're super nice. But these other people, they're also just as nice, but I don't know, we're just chatting and vibing a bit more easily or something, right? And so it's kind of like a self-filtering system. Now, what do you do if you're stuck in that paradigm of you don't even know where you're lying to yourself and where you're telling truth? You know? Well, that's a whole nother video. But if you're wondering about that, you let me know, because I still have to get my head around the best way to explain it, if I'm perfectly honest, because it's, I'll have a think about it. I'll have a think about it, guys. You're right, mate, you have to back up. I've got my indicator on. Sorry. Anyway, that's that. That's a fun little video. It's just something to give you a think about, you know? Think about how all these things are connected together. How it's not just, oh, it's just a little white lie. No, it's not just a little white lie, because that little white lie makes little white lies perfectly normal to you. And you really owe it to yourself to try and curb that, so that you're, telling truth is now your new standard. That little white lies are not really acceptable coming from you, coming from other people. Well, then that's their, what's the word? They're like, it's a shame. It's a shame, because that's a fault in their personality. Doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad person, because we all tell little white lies from time to time. We all do that, but let's all aspire to be the best people that we can possibly be, so that we can attract the highest quality of people that we can find, and so that our lives are filled with the right type of love, the right type of beauty, and the right type of just awesome shizzle, manizzle from Crizzle. Alright. Enjoy your day, guys. Have a think about that, and I would love to hear from you if any part of that resonates. So have a great day, and keep up that beautiful painty complexion.